Hi, welcome. So publishing is this great thing. It's really a form of sharing. And it hasn't always been exactly that. It's always often been an industry. But now it's a way of sharing. And it's the internet that's mostly changed that. The internet has sort of broken down a lot of the barriers to distribution. Other technologies has made printing in really high quality ways accessible to anyone, not just the people and the companies with huge budgets. So the main myth to bust is that it somehow matters if you get picked or not by the main publishers. Does feel good. It feels good to have somebody handle the distribution, but it doesn't. It doesn't affect who you are. It doesn't, personally. Doesn't affect. It doesn't signify the quality of your work. It only signifies what some particular editor thinks they can do with the work. More often than not, if they think they can sell it, they'll get behind it. You have the ability to be behind your own work. You have the ability to form a small community, to find a community that can all get behind the work, that can share the work, that can buy the work, that can spread the word. You see this in action in small conventions. You'll see pockets of all sort of drawn. Nobody's a big publisher, and maybe the big publishers are over here or something, but the smaller publishers have their fans, and their fans are their friends, and vice versa. And maybe they were friends first and then fans, or fans first and then friends. But those pockets thrive. Maybe no one's making $1 million. I assure you, most of those people have regular jobs. But culturally, artistically, socially, they're thriving. Those people have found each other. They are happy to be together. They're happy to be sharing their stories. They're happy to feel like somebody gets them. And the key is to build that network, to build that community, to belong, to do it do it slowly. And again, it's true that the big publishers will give you that feeling that you belong really quickly. But I've seen it more often than not that happened. That feeling like, oh, I don't even belong here. Nobody's looking out for me here. That's happened more times than I can count, where a book gets picked up by a big publisher and then you realize you're on your own to promote it. Nobody's really behind it. Nobody's really helping you. They're just hoping it gets picked up. They're hoping the publicity machine works, and if it doesn't, they ignore it, and you don't really and you're left alone, and you're left wondering, why did I do it that way? There's a joke that says how to get published these days: first get famous. And the joke is that even regular publishers in this day, where publishing is collapsing, publishing is changing in a major way, in the way that record and music already has. And so the joke is that even regular publishers, big publishers, don't exactly know what works and what's going to work. And so they're looking to people that have already a gazillion fans, or a successful podcast, or whatever, because they think that they can sell books to their audience, and maybe enlarge it a little bit, but mostly sell it to their audience. So this is not about how to get big. This is not about how to sell 1 million copies. It's just about how to satisfy the desire to connect. And the desire to connect can be really satisfying, even on a small scale. You have everything you need to do it on a small scale. Small digital publishers can make gorgeous books for very little money and maybe make 100 copies rather than 3,000. In cases where you need to borrow money or crowdsource, that can be done too. It's never been an easier time to get your work made and seen. And frankly, I think at SAW, it's never been easier to sort of find connections, and that's one thing we do here. So publish your work, get your work published, whatever, share it with the world. And we're here behind you, but don't pin all your hopes on that, on getting picked by that one publisher or that one, because it's disappointing, and we attach too much self-worth to it.